All right, so 2014, your sister passed away due
Mm,
to overdose, right?
mm.
Now, leading up to this, did you know that she had an issue with substances like you've always known or
Yeah. Yeah, I actually on my album Fight or Flight Mode, I have a verse about it, which is kinda fucked up because I basically apologized to her in the verse for not being more understanding, but then I treat her the same way anyway. And basically the way I had cut my sister off, like, she just was visibly she'd be high, you know what I mean? And I just fucking everyone else kinda turned a blind eye to it, and I think it's because my other brothers, used pills, and my mom, used pills for pain meds and different reasons, and my dad occasionally. And so I think, like, who were they to fucking call her out? But I was like, "Yo," I'd be the one to be like, "Man, wake the fuck up, like, get your shit together." And she called me one time, and I sound very much like my older brother, and she had said something like I answered the phone, she's like, "You got them 30s or some shit." I'm like, "What?" "You got them 30s." And I'm like, "Who the fuck you think you called?" And she said my brother's name, and I'm like, "Yeah, that's not me." And I hung up. I never talked to her. She called, she left like 7 messages, like, "I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah," and I just delete 'em, and then she died. So, like, it really, like, I was like, "Fuck, man," you know what I mean? Because you just don't think, and yeah, she died. I was in another rap battle in fucking Missouri when I got the news.
I mean, why were you so angry though, like when that situation happened that you stopped talking to her?
'Cause I tried to experiment with tough love, right? I tried to be like, "Get your shit together, like, you got 2 kids, like, what the fuck? Like, tighten up." Like, you know what I mean? Like, that was my approach. I'd seen a lot of addiction around me at this point in my neighborhoods and everything. I'm like, "Yo," and she looked rough, and I'm like, "Man, look what the fuck you're doing. Like, what how can you not see this?" And, you always think, like, they'll hit a rock bottom, and then, they'll be like, "Fuck, I don't" you see the stories that they come back, but, sometimes they don't, man, you know what I mean? So I had to learn the hard way as far as, like, not to say that there's not tough love at points, doesn't have its but yeah. So, yeah, she passed away. I was at a battle in Missouri. Yeah, I battled that day too.
Did you um wait, is this the situation where you got the news on the way to the battle?
So I got the news right before I was going to the battle, yeah. I was pretty much on the way to the battle. My brother, my middle brother, called me, and he just says, and he rarely shows any kind of emotion, and he had, like, his voice was cracking. He just goes, "Hey, man, man down." And I was like, "What?" He goes, "Man down, dude." I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" And he goes, "Amber overdose." I just go, "Fuck." And it was fucked up because it was one of the few times my dad went fishing. Like, he tried to do something for himself, and we couldn't get a hold of him. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, "Oh, fuck, dude." Yeah.
At that time, were you a believer that or even now that addiction is a sickness or you have a hard time wrestling with that? Because I know when people are impacted by it personally, it's a little
Mhm.
harder. When you're watching it, it's
Okay.
harder to be like, "Oh yeah, it's an addiction." When you keep seeing people in this endless cycle of hurting those closest to them, hurting themselves and everything like that, it's hard to accept it as that.
Man, it's a layered question, right? It's tough. I 100% believe that the addict deserves much, an overwhelming amount of the blame, of course. However, I do think in many instances, there are other things, other entities, and other factors that, what's the word? Help then go down that hole, and in one way or the other. Um, of course, you're gonna have your people that says, "Oh, nobody put a needle in your hand and said the da 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 da," like, and I understand what they're saying, but you know what I mean? There's many forms of addiction from alcoholism to, whatever, and I think you have to look at the entirety of each case, but I do think in almost every case, uh, for example, I will say this, if I were to become an alcoholic, I would say I should hold much more of the blame than my sister in her case. And I do believe my sister should hold blame for herself as well, but if I were to become an alcoholic, I would think I should shoulder pretty much all of the blame. It's on me,
What makes you
right?
say that?
Because I've seen it around me. I know what it can do. I've gone out willingly. I know people that have told me like stop drinking. It's bad. I stopped. I know good examples, bad examples. Um
But people could
I could
argue then that it's a genetic, addiction is genetic.
Yeah, and I have alcoholism, but again, I think if you know that you have that, then that might be all the more reason to be like this ain't it.
Mhm.
And by willingly going to the bars, buying beers, da, 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 if I ended up being an alcoholic, I would have a hard time being super duper sympathetic for myself or thinking and expecting others to be super sympathetic for me.
What was your sister's substance of choice?
So my sister started out drinking uh early and weed. And I'm going to sound like maybe a nerd, but I do believe that for many people, like many people with addicting personalities, that maybe weed's not the best thing. Like, I don't think the gateway drug thing is the wildest theory. Not for everyone. Many people could just smoke weed, chill. Many people discover other highs along the way.
But
And
e
so that,
but even with weed, it's like you gotta maintain that high. Some people smoke all day long,
there
or
you go,
they get
bro.
mad when they don't have any, right? Or they can't go a day without it and stuff like that. Like, I'm speaking from experience. I know, you know what I mean? Like, so I understand, like, it's I haven't done it in many years or anything like that, but, like, I remember how much of a role it played in my life as well, so I understand of, like, how, like,
Yeah.
I you
And
know
and I
and
I definitely think that weed is, of course, like, I think alcohol's worse and blah, 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 all that stuff,
right.
but
But
so
especially
she
these
started with
days, the way they make it so strong now,
right.
it's on another
Oh,
level, bro. You're not talking about like back in the 70s, like everybody's just taking like a puff or two
right.
or passing it around. Like this is dabs and all these
Oh, I
different types
can't
of
handle it.
rigs and like you know what I
I
mean?
can't
So it's
handle it, bro.
yeah.
Yeah. It's like that Cat Williams bit, right, where he's like, "This shit called death? This called death?" Like, it's crazy, bro. It's crazy, but so she started with that, and then she I feel like pills hit our area around that 2001, 2000, like,
Mm,
right in that window, and all of the sudden, like, she stopped drinking because she didn't really she the pill high was now, my sister also had spina bifida, and so, she'd gotten prescribed pills,
oh man.
and I've never had a pill high, right? But I could tell, I guess, by her never going back really to alcohol that the pill high had exceeded that.
Right.
And so that was it, pills for her. She had depressants, or whatever, antidepressants, and, whatever pills she wasn't big on she definitely didn't, like, shoot anything. She wasn't big on coke, she didn't smoke crack, you know what I mean? Not that whatever, a fucking addiction's addiction. If you smoke crack, if you take
Right.
pills. But here's, something that stuck with me, how oblivious I was. When I was with my son's mom in, like, 2003 or whatever, and we're talking one time, and her mom was addicted to crack, and my brother was taking pills, and I'm like, "And yeah, your mom gotta get it together or whatever," she's like, "Your brother takes pills and shit," and I'm like, "Yeah, but that's different, that's not like crack." She's like, "It's pilled heroin," and I was like, No, it isn't. Because in my head, I'm thinking heroin, like the 27 Club, like Jim Moore, like, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Yes, it is. He's taking pill and heroin in pill form." I was like, "Nuh-uh. Don't talk about my brother." Like, I gotta, because to me, that was unfathomable.
Well, because also you're thinking a doctor is prescribing this or whatever, and a prescription, it's like it makes it more clean, right? But when you look at the addiction for a lot of those people that, oh, they hurt their back, they got prescribed something by the doctor or whatever, right? They all of a sudden they get addicted, they can't get the pills anymore. What do they turn to? They go to that black tar.
Right. Right, 100%, 100%. And so, but that, just to put it in perspective, that's how unfathomable that was to me, because I thought of heroin as like a rock star drug. Like, I would watch Behind the Music, and Nikki Sixx was talking about shooting his veins up after a fucking Motley Crue show. Like, it didn't occur to me like, oh, you know, and again, when I say this, I don't want to act like I understand that heroin in, or I don't wanna say heroin, but whatever, like fentanyl, whatever. These things in very controlled doses work on pain. I understand that. And some people absolutely need it, for their extreme pain. But I think that there was a fuck up in that window. But anyhow, to get back to your original, yeah, so pills were her thing for sure.
Did you
And that
ever
it became,
did you ever have any conversations with her about what drove her to start using really and relying on it though? Like,
just denied it. She denied every time, bro. She'd fall asleep and nod off, and I'd be like, "Yo, wake up." "Well, I'm just tired. I just been fucking working all day. I'm so fucking tired." And I'm like, "You're fucking lying. You're high." You know what I mean? "Oh, no, I'm not." "No, why you always say that? Why you always gotta" and the denial is unreal, and the ways that they deny, right? So, like, then there's my other brother. He just talks so much when he's high, because he thinks if I talk a bunch, you won't think I'm high. It's like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's different, and they just deny, 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 deny. And so, yeah, unfortunately, and that's the thing. So with alcohol, when she'd get drunk, she was a mess. There's no denying that. There's no denying that you were drinking. Like, there, you smell it on your breath. There's, you know what I mean? But it's harder to prove without like a drug test that you were actually getting high on, pills and whatever. So she's able to deny, "Oh, I'm just tired. You don't understand the stress I've been under." I'm just, oh, deny, deny, bro.
do you have any regrets over cutting her off and not being able to talk to her?
I do. I do, bro. I do. And I had reached out to her before, and I had said, like, "Listen, man, like, if you're about getting your shit together, like, I would love to help you out." So it's not like I was, and at the time I had a young son myself. Like, I can't have you or whatever you got going on around my young son. Um, but cutting her off, I don't have no audio with my sister. I have very little pictures, like maybe because 2014, I mean, I don't even know if I had a camera phone, I mean, I had to. I don't know. I don't know when the camera phone became a big thing, but I, I don't know. Or if it was shitty pictures or what. I very little pictures. And, at that time, she didn't look her best anyway. So, like, I wish I could have been more transparent about saying, "Hey, when you're serious about getting help," because, with my brothers, I've tried that. I've tried to be the other way, and it's fucking backfired. So, but at least I have put it out there multiple times that when you're serious, I got you. But if you're not serious, like, just keep doing you.
Have you heard
And
that Joyner Lucas song, Best of Me, with Jelly Roll, where he's like rapping from the perspective of the addict and rapping from the perspective of like the friend or the family member that's being affected by.
no,
Oh, you
I
got
haven't heard
you
it.
got to check that out. It's like it's pretty crazy because you get to like,
Macklemore, which people might, I don't know, hope people don't clown the pool, but Macklemore's got some really deep shit about, because he went through a lot with his addiction and shit. He's got some really good
yeah,
fucking songs that relate to, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough, it's tough, but there's no perfect way So you gotta give yourself some grace. There's no perfect way. What I thought I was doing, I did think I was doing out of love. My sister was the toughest of us growing up. My sister was a fucking wrecking ball. You know, my sister would could fucking was a scrapper. She was, you know what I mean? So I guess I thought, yo, she's tough. You need this tough love. And maybe I was wrong. Maybe it would have went the same way regardless. I don't
Yeah.
know, you know.
It's hard, man. It's definitely really hard, you know what I mean? You just never know, like, what is the right answer to do. Yeah.
Yeah, because like I said, I'll tell you one thing, man, and this resonated with me heavy. I had my brother, you know, he hits me up the one night. It's fucking and dude had kept making these high calls to me. This is probably like circa 5, 6 years ago. And I'd be like about to go to sleep. He'd call me and you know, it fucking sounds like this. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. But I'm trying not to like snap on him. So one day he calls me at fucking 1:30 in the morning and he starts talking about how good the 90s Yankees pitching staff was. Dude, if you remember they had I say, hey, man, I'm gonna stop you right here. I gotta go to fucking sleep. You're high. I got something to do tomorrow. So he goes off. Dude, what are you trying? What are you fucking thinking better or something? So the next day, maybe like a couple days later, I got a homie, a knucklehead, right? But I love him. So he got tires put on my whip. We were having a beer together. And I'm telling him this. Now, my homie is a knucklehead. He had his own substance abuse problems. You know what I mean? But I'm telling him, I'm like, yeah, my brother calls me, man. He was high. He's talking about the Yankees pitches. He starts laughing in my face, bro. Like I'm talking about, he has this beer. He's like, "Ah," and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't really meant to be like a funny story. He's like, and he just literally, and this dude, God bless his soul. He might be one of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever met, but he just goes, he got a beer and he goes, he ain't gonna get right unless he wants to get right, bro. And he sips it. And at that point, it was the most poetic shit. It was like Emerson Waldo said that shit I said.
Emerson Waldo.
My God, he's right.
It's true.
And here I am thinking of every little, well, if I say this, if I let him say this, if we have this conversation, and maybe he ain't gonna get right unless he wants to get right. And at that time, I'm like, he's fucking right. Like, like, simple as that, bro.
It's true, man. You know, the sad thing too is also when people get clean, it's like there's those addict behaviors, those mannerisms and things that they have that the manipulation tactics, the little
Oh,
different stuff, like it doesn't go away because you get off the substance. You know what I mean? Like there's like the
man,
codependency, the different
of
stuff like
course.
that becomes their new high, right? All of a sudden, I'm
Mm,
really into working out now, like or I'm
right.
really into this now, or like that. It's an actual thing. I think that like people just got to find things that are productive and really I don't know, go to therapy, go do something to like really
I was
heal
just
your
gonna say, bro, I'm not a big religious guy, faith-based, but you know what? I think that people that go through that shit, man, by all means, if it helps you, do it.
exactly,
Because
exactly,
there
man.
was times that my brother was trying to get sober, whatever, and I can't remember. We got into an argument. And I told him, I'm like, bro, you're still an asshole. Like, you're not drinking right now. Cause his thing at first was drinking with him. I said, but you're still an asshole, bro. Like, I thought, like you were just saying, I'm like, I thought you was supposed to develop a new mindset or something. Like, you still a opportunistic asshole, bro. Like, yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah, man. Oh, rest in peace to your sister, bro. Yeah.
Appreciate you, bro.